All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of SWAC Smoke. As you see, it's 30, and you know how it go down. Got the homie Jamie G in the house again, man. Mr. JSU over there. He's serving up meals for the Tigers and their opponents. So y'all see, he got his pom poms, and he ready for action. Like he said, it's homecoming 1.0 in Montgomery this weekend. And we're going to chop it up, man. Y'all know how we do. We're going to talk about last week games, talk about this week games, and everything in between. Before we start on the action on the field, did you hear about Prairie View AD getting fired?
Yeah, I heard about that. I was actually surprised. I wonder what really happened with all that. They didn't really go into much detail about it, but I was quite shocked that he was let go like that. I don't really know too many details about it.
The only thing I heard, and like I said, everything when you hear something, you only hear one side of it, and it might not even be a reason. But I heard that the team was late getting to Alabama the other week. They went to the airport and plane there, and so they had to wait 5 hours to get a plane to get to Montgomery. And I think a couple people was upset about that. Now, I don't know. I'm quite sure it ain't the only thing that happened. You don't let somebody go just over that. But that's one of the things I heard. Now, I don't know nothing else. I ain't going to speculate. Hopefully we get a few more details. But I just wanted to, because, he was like, he didn't even know he was fired. So, wow. You could take that with a grain of salt too. But, when you don't know you fired, then that's a problem. So, like I said, we'll see what will come down the pipe with that. But I just want to go ahead and start off with that because that was just one of the things that really caught me off guard.
Who we got in the house, man?
So, man, let's.
I don't see nobody in the comments.
Nobody hit the chat yet. Ain't nobody hit the chat yet, but I know my boy Los J gonna be popping in a few. I talked to him earlier, so I know he's gonna probably come through. I'm sure DJ gonna try to pop in. He busy with the homecoming at Bama State this weekend. Oh, we got Los J right there. Got Big Thrillo in the house. Look at that, right on cue. Got the TSU crew in here. What's up, y'all? Look at that, nice, bro. I talked them right on. Boy, they pop right on in. So, man, let's go ahead and talk about these games last week, man. Let's start with Alabama and Bethune-Cookman.
Oh, I got a chance to check that one out, man. Bethune could have pulled that one out, but they let Alabama A&M kind of hang around in there, and the Alabama A&M got the dub. That boy, that running back for Alabama A&M, I can't think of his name right offhand, but he ate, man. I think he was the SWAC player of the week on offense,
Yeah, that's Eaglin. Michigan State transfer, man. He had a big game, man. I think he gonna move into that spot. And, that really opened up the offense a lot. The passing game was better. That probably was the best game they played all year. So they got to keep on going because one game ain't gonna change nobody thought process on their team right now. But they needed that victory. Bethune-Cookman had chances, though. They had tied the game up, and they were still in it. But like I said, that running game really went to work. So that was a much needed win for Alabama A&M, man. They need that in the worst way.
I think Bethune that one costly turnover kind of late. I think it was either the third or fourth quarter. That really, they really seemed like they lost that momentum after that. But Jalen Jones had a pretty good day. Yeah, he had a pretty good day passing the football and actually running the ball as well. Avery 8-2.
I say the offense they got a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Jones 353 yards through the monster numbers. That's really what you're looking for from him. Mm-hmm. When he can throw the ball and run it. His game elevates. He one of those kind of guys. I think they need to run the ball a little bit and get that confidence, and then his passing game come behind that. Otherwise, if you have to sit back and you know, don't have problems for your team. You know, if you're your quarterback and you got to sit in the pocket. Eaglin, 190 yards and 2 touchdowns, and I think he had a receiving touchdown. So he scored 3 touchdowns on the game. So big game for him. Like you say, with SWAC Player of the Week on offense, and was much needed. So Coach Manor, you got you one this week. And we'll talk about y'all game against Grambling a little bit later in the show. Florida A&M 34, Valley 7.
Hey, I watched some of that on the HBCU Go channel, and not on the HBCU Go. I'm sorry, Facebook. That was on Facebook, which I thought that game should have been televised as well. But I guess, you know, we got to get that game with Facebook. But that Valley man actually put up a fight for the first half. But FAMU didn't really score like that until the third and fourth quarter. You know, it seemed like Valley just steady struggling on offense still, and I don't understand why they can't get it going, because I mean, it looks good on paper, but they can't put it together. I mean, FAMU came out there and, you know, Musa lit it up, and Xavier Smith, as you know, he gonna eat as well. But I mean, it's not expected that FAMU pulled off a large win like this, you know. But man, Valley gonna have to really figure out what they got going on and what they need to do in the future, because, you know, even though Dancy, I think, is the right coach, but that seat getting kind of hot right now for him.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like you said, first quarter, Valley, they really competitive in that first half, man. And if you look at their last few games, that first quarter, they hit a big play. This week it was an 83-yard touchdown pass, and then after that is, you know, nothing else after that. I think Coach Dancy doing all he can with that team, but, you know, some kind of way you got to turn that corner, man, because people, you know, rightly or wrongly, people expectations of Valley this year had really risen. And when people feel like they don't have that patience like they had last year, you know, people expecting big things out of Valley, and the offense just not there. And you know, that's tough. I did want to, like you say, Xavier Smith, big game. He had 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. Basically in this winning streak that FAMU got it, Musa has found Xavier Smith in every game, man. So he definitely know what's going on. And man, you're right. Got some seats warming up now. Some are unfairly warming up, but they still warming up. But then, like, you got a couple guys who, you know, I think they can't afford to lose too many more games, because, you know, you don't want to fall too far behind. Speaking of a guy on the hot seat, Pine Bluff, man, Doc Gamble. I know that team, you know, they had some injuries coming into that game. They actually had another quarterback get hurt in that game, so they kind of looking a little shaky there. But 59, Pine Bluff 3. I was totally surprised by that game, man. I thought it would be a much closer affair, but Pine Bluff, they just not looking good right now.
Yeah, it looks like Pine Bluff is going down the drain, man. They season looking real bleak right now, and Doc Gamble going down the drain with them. I'm surprised. I'm on this Doc right now, packing in Arkansas now, man, packing up the leave, because I mean, it's been rough. I mean, and the thing about with Doc Gamble, man, he had a good season in the spring, but a lot of his players transferred out. And, you know, ever since then, it's just been just downhill. I don't know what's going on with UAPB, but it's kind of sad to see it go down like that.
Yeah, I mean, to go from, like you said, championship game in the spring, and then immediately you lose so many guys to the portal. A lot of your top guys at that. You lost a lot of key guys in the portal last season. You know, injuries kind of wore you down a little bit, and just quarterback play was not good, not consistent. This season, it seemed like he was, kind of turning the corner a little bit. The Alcorn game, I think, was a little bit more physical than they expected. They came out of that game banged up, and not having your starting quarterback, even though he's not the most consistent, but he's a guy that's been around a long time. Having to start a freshman on the road is tough. They threw 4 interceptions in that game, and none of them were great plays by the defense. I'm a Southern fan, but it made one interception. We had linebacker broke on the ball, nice break on the ball, and intercepted the ball. Other than that, a lot of passes were like 5 feet over the receiver head. Just poor throws. And not being able to run the football definitely hurt them. I don't know, what they can do to get themselves back on track, but I'm expecting Pine Bluff to have to try to figure something out, because right now they're just not looking too good. All right. Let's talk Grambling, man. That's I don't think it's fair that people got Hugh Jackson on the hot seat already. I don't think he's gonna be fired right now, but a lot of people feeling a type of way about Grambling, the whole taking the cheese helmet and all. I don't even know where they at in the alphabet right now. What letters they got left?
I think M.
I don't even know.
MBLIN, because both G's are
they running out of letters, and
yeah, Jackson State took 1 G. I know Arkansas State took the first G. Prairie View got the A, I believe.
Yeah, and Bethune got the R.
And Bethune got the R.
So yeah, they clean it. They clean it on up. This game, man, they were out of this game from the start. Just 2 defensive touchdowns really, can change the scope of a game. But they made a quarterback change. They took Hawkins out, put Calvez in. He was able to do a couple of things, but to be this late, this point in the season and still juggling quarterbacks, I think that's a tough recipe for any team. They just can't consistently move the football up and down the field. So they have a lot of problems with that. Let's see. This is a good comment here.
There's a good comment down there.
No, I don't. Number one, the man ain't even been that whole year. I don't think no coach should be fired in a year unless he did something off the field. If Grambling last season, Grambling had a rough season. The spring of 2020, that team didn't win a game. Last season they went 4-7. The offensive line was not that good. The offense itself was not that good. You had multiple coaches, multiple coordinators, a lot of changes. And this, you bring in a guy like Hugh Jackson, you got to let him work. You got to let him work his program. Got to let him get his guys in. Like you said, like the comment said, he wanted to bring in Art Browse. That didn't go through. You still need to give this man an opportunity to run his program.
Can I speak on that Art Browse situation, man?
Oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Man, because I felt like
the floor is yours.
Yeah, I felt like that Art Browse situation would have been perfect for Grambling. I think that he would have really had that offense going the way it needed to be. But you got to look at the Art Browse situation. Art Browse did not commit any sexual assault or any of the sexual things that was going on. He just had knowledge of it. I know he had the knowledge, but at the same token, people still, I guess, felt like he was the one that he knew about. He should have blew a whistle, but he did all the proper things that at that time was supposed to be in place, in order to report it. It just didn't get reported well, but I think he needed another chance, man. I actually think it would have been good for him to be at Grambling, to even try to redeem himself. But, people was like, nah, we don't want that. we didn't want all that. And the media, they ripped it up and whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, he didn't rape anybody or anything like that. But I mean, our brow, I think, deserved a second chance. But I know how things is and how people might look at it. But I would like to see him what he would have been able to do at Grambling. But I mean, some people. I mean, you got to think about this too. Grambling had to put in somebody from on the offensive side of the ball real quick. So, you mean you're trying to install everything and in a short period of time. I mean, man, that takes a lot of work and there's a lot of hassle trying to do all that. And then to me, I think the quarterback for Grambling Hawkins, I think he played at Jones Community College, if I'm correct. And I want to say
he played it.
He did which way?
He played at Jones.
Yeah, Jones Community College. And I think they ran triple option. And I never understood why they would go with a quarterback that runs triple option and try to put them into a spread offense. I just don't think I think that's a room for disaster. So, but hey, I'm not coaching.
Hey, that's the good thing, man. We can sit here and say whatever because our job's in on the line. But one thing I don't, and they gotta, a lot of people saying one thing, other people saying another thing. I'm not in the Grambling family, so I'm not gonna say what everybody's saying and everything. I just don't think that any coach should be worried about his job in 1 year. We only a few games into the season. You never know what can happen, man. A couple of Grambling started 0-4 and finished 6-5. You don't know what can happen when SWAC play start. Your best running back been out for 2 weeks. You're supposed to be getting them back this week, so maybe that can change. It just takes time, man. The thing, and I talked about this last. I think it was the thing that you have to be careful of is people on social media talking and making that be the voice of everybody. Everybody don't feel the way people feel on social media. There's a lot of people who don't get on social media. They feel that way. But the minority is sometimes the loudest. And you just can't really go with it. And it's a good comment about the quarterback play. You just never know with a guy, maybe he can throw it pretty well. I know him and McCray from Southern, they had a nice battle in because McCray went to Hines. They had a nice battle, man. Both of them threw the ball really well in that game. So, it's something they saw, for what they want to run. But, when you bring in a coach like that and you bringing in so many guys, you bring in a ton of new guys. They brought in a lot of new guys. It takes time for it to gel. Every team is different. Somebody can bring in 20 dudes in the portal and hit the ground running. Somebody else might bring in 20 dudes from the portal, and it's a struggle because you got to look at the guys that you had coming back. So I don't even like to, I've heard, people say should he be on the hot seat? No, that's crazy. You don't get put on the hot seat your first year on the job unless you're doing something off the field that doesn't match what the school wants you to do. So, I get it. I get it. And, like I said, I live in Baton Rouge. When Southern lost to TSU, people on social media, and it wasn't everybody, it was only a couple people, but that's all it takes is a couple people to nuclear, and then it's a wrap. So we just need to show some patience, man. He got to get his guys in here. He got to get recruiting classes in here. He got to get his offense right. He got to have, the defense is still playing well. Don't lose sight of that. The defense is playing fairly solid. So all they need is some confidence, and get some things rolling, and you never know what happens. But I could never say a first year coach is on the hot seat. But
he just needs time. Back to people just gotta be patient.
Yeah, you just gotta give them, I know everybody wanna win now. Everybody wanna win now. Everybody don't want to fall too far behind JSU because let's keep it real. We all chase Jackson State, so you don't want to fall too far behind, but you need to be in position to catch them. You know what I'm saying? You can't catch them with a 4-17 with a bad offensive line. You got to build and you got to get your guys in there. So, it's just some process. Yeah, it's a process. It takes time. But Prairie View's playing well. I mean, the pass game is still not where it should be, but the running game is really, really good. They run the ball really well. Antoine, Connolly, Stewart, they all running the ball really well, man. And that defense is flying around, making tackles, making big time plays behind the line of scrimmage. So, they're playing well, and they feel mad disrespected by all of us. So they got that chip on their shoulder. So we'll see how the Panthers do. Let's see. Last game we had from last week was Texas Southern. This game, not so much the winner, but the score was a surprise to me. TSU 13, Alabama State 16. That was a really low scoring game. It really surprised me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got surprised because they didn't expect Texas Southern to drop that game, but I think Alabama State came out with a good plan to slow the game down and to stop body. Because I think I said even last week, I said if Alabama State was able to just stop body, their whole offense stops as well too. I mean, because Alabama State has a pretty legit defense. And Texas Southern had the game all up until that one little key thing, and Alabama State took advantage and ended up coming out with the win.
Yeah, I thought I've said Alabama State defense, they get out there. Now, they real chippy now. They will try to push limits, but they get out there. But I do want to still send a shout out to the TSU defense, man. Those guys have stepped up big time in conference play. I think I was talking to Los J, and he said that the defense hadn't given up but one touchdown since the Prairie View game in SWAC play in the second half. So they gave up 40 to Prairie View, but they was competitive in that game. They had 2 interceptions. They shut out Southern. And then held Alabama State to basically 16 points. So that defense is something that I was on, man. And you can always ask anybody. I never shied away from that, but the defense has stepped up big time. And I said if the defense can play well with the offense, then this team can be dangerous. But it's still a young team, and they're gonna have them up and down issues. But to find yourself in this position right now is still a good thing.
Yeah, because Clarence McKinney, he's on the hot seat now.
Oh yeah. Nah, that's somebody who, some people feel should be on the hot seat. Some people feel like, he did not inherit the best situation either. So, he's honestly starting that team from scratch down there. So, I think, like I said, he going into I think this is last year or next to last year. So a lot of eyes is on this team, and this team had a lot of high expectations from people that should not have been that high most likely. But you still got time to turn this thing around. If your defense can continue to play well, then your offense is gonna come back around. They're gonna come back around. If the defense can stay there, then you never know what's gonna happen, because I said it before the season and I say it after the season. The West winner gonna have 2 losses at minimum. So the West is gonna cannibalize itself. So anybody can win it. And,
let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. If
go ahead.
Texas Southern doesn't end up having a losing season, do you think Andrew Body will be in the transfer portal? Because it's been rumors floating around.
Oh, Yeah, I know a lot of people kind of throwing. I wouldn't. Me personally, I would say, I mean, you can't tell somebody what to do, but I personally think you stay the course. I mean, this team is mad. This team is still young, man. They mainly freshmen and sophomores. You gotta expect that up and down, that up and down performance. Obviously, he's not having his best season, so hopefully, you would want to run it back and find yourself in a better position. But if people gonna be, people talking, somebody get in his ear, you just never know. Me personally, I would hope that he stay at TSU, and because the sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm.
You already somewhere. Transferring somewhere don't always solve problems.
Right.
So just because like they always say, the grass ain't always greener on the other side. It might look like it from over here, but you don't know till you get there. So stay with the show thing. Help this team grow and move on. But I just I personally would really be disappointed if that happened.
Me too. I think I would like for him to stay, but if he were to transfer, I hope he stay in the SWAC and ride that thing on out. But I'm pulling for him. I hope he stays, man, because I think if Coach McKinney is fired, TSU just need that right coach to come in, and I think they'll be a contender, man. And then I think they need to add a few more pieces at wide receiver and work on the offensive line. I think you got a potential contender in the West.
Yeah, they got a couple young guys to look out for at receiver. A couple freshmen that came in kind of late that's getting themselves acclimated. So they gonna have those weapons, man. Like I said, and you got two good running backs and a quarterback that a dual threat. And you got a guy like Morton, who is one of the top receivers in the league right now. A lot of people don't recognize that, but this team is right there. I think if McKinney was to not come back, then he left a good foundation for somebody. But it's gonna be, it's gonna be important for. And I'm not firing the man. Y'all don't take that what I'm saying. I'm just saying if he were to leave, whoever the new guy is going to have to do a good sales job to keep those guys there, because a lot of time when coaches leave, players leave, so you don't want to have to start over, So, but like you said, if he's not the guy, then they just that one good guy away from getting them on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really talk about this guy being on the hot seat, but since we talking coaches on the hot seat, Terry Sims, but how you feeling about him?
Oh, I think he's definitely on the hot seat, but with the new athletic director that's down there at Bethune-Cookman right now, I think probably if they have a losing season, that he'll be out of there. But Bethune-Cookman has to focus a little bit more on football. I think they always been kind of more so focused on that basketball than anything.
And baseball. They a baseball school.
Yep.
So and it's funny because their football program has been really good over the last few years. They have won multiple FBS games in the past few, in the past year. So they have, they've had success in football. Not a lot of championships to go with it, but I think that they need, like you said, they need to commit. They need to really commit one way or the other. Right now, obviously, they got a lot of things going on at the school that's way more important than football. So I'm not really gonna press that. Being in a situation in Florida, you're always susceptible to that kind of stuff. But I really hope that they can, get themselves together there. But I think, football is ultimately a business. So at some point, you got to kind of make that tough decision. So I'm not gonna really dwell on him too much, just out of respect. We're gonna go ahead and move on to this week games, and I ain't gonna waste no time, man. We're gonna start off with the game that most people talking about. Most people said their game of the week. I don't really feel like it's the game of the week. It's the most interesting game to me, because I don't think the game is gonna really be a game. And your smile give it away. So I'm gonna get a flow to you first. Oh, what's up, Rod? Rod in the house.
Let's get it.
Rod dropping a 60 piece right there.
Man, it's gonna kick off that first homecoming from Jackson State. We're looking to take over Montgomery this weekend. A lot of people expect this game just to be a flat out 60 piece. But hear me out. And I think this is just my opinion. I think Jackson State coming off this bye is going to play a major effect in how they start off. Because if they start off slow, I don't think they're going to get 60. But if they start off fast, scoring 40 plus, yeah, they might get the 60 piece. But I don't think Alabama State is going to come in and let Jackson State just run all over with them because it's their homecoming. I think they're going to put up a good fight. And I expect Jackson State to win, but I don't think it's just going to be just a roll or just a old rollover like that. I think Jackson State should win this game pretty comfortably, but I got it. Honest opinion, I got like 48-13 like that.
Man, we right in the same boat. I said 45-10.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're a guy that played for Bama State, you tired of all of the talking. You know, you're gonna be motivated to play. It's gonna be a packed house. I heard it's lots of kids coming on unofficial visits. So it's going, you got a lot of guys gonna be there. The atmosphere is gonna be ridiculous. So they're gonna come out with extra energy, but once the game settles down, I just don't feel that confidence in Alabama State, especially offensively. I think that's gonna be the problem to me. Is at some point you're gonna have to start football. The emotion is gonna go away, and all the the hoopla and everything, all that's gonna disappear at some point, and you gotta play football. Bama State defense, I love them. I like their defense. Bubba Adams, Ershaw Davis, Maddox, Young Roll, all those guys, they get out there. But the offense has to pick up. They Santo Dunn needs to get a boatload of carries. You need to use Davis's legs or Crowley or whoever is quarterback. They need to play the game of their life because you're gonna be under a lot of pressure. You're not gonna be able to sit back and go. Once the game get there, it's gonna be a tough task. And
I like
me and Lil J, we talking about the refs and
with their refs because I think Jackson State to win this game is also to cut out the penalties and also to cut out the turnovers. Jackson State is going to have to go ahead and just put the points out real quick and real fast because you don't want the referees to get involved either. And start kind of.
Oh yeah, when you
they known to have that reputation for bad play calling down there.
Hey, me and Los J were talking about that earlier, man. It's but the thing is, to me, a game like that, like this, like you said earlier, a fast start is important for JSU. A fast start is important for both teams, but playing on the road, in an environment like that, referees are being swayed by kind of stuff in SWAC. No turnovers and very minimal penalties. Mm-hmm. You need to make sure if you score a touchdown, you need to be all the way over the goal line in the back of the end zone. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to run all the way through because you don't want no judgment calls. you know, you don't want nothing to come into play like that if you JSU. Now, if you Bama State, you want all the chaos. You want the ugliest game that you could get because you need to give yourself some kind of way to figure something out. Because with straight football right now, it's not going to be a strong suit in this game. So, you know, we'll see though. You know, stranger things that happen in football. You know, you never know. But I think that this is going to be one of them games closer at the beginning, and at the end, it's going to end up like the rest of them. So that's pretty much where I stand on that one. Since my boy Rod brought this game up, Southern and Prairie View, that's another interesting game for the week. I don't agree with the scope. I really think, like I said, if Jackson State wasn't playing Alabama State this year and all the stuff that happened before that, I would pick this game as the game of the week, because this game, if you look through, these two teams are very similar. They both are playing really good defense right now. They both like to run the football. They basically 3 and 4 or 2 and 3 in defense in all categories. The running games are 1 and 2 in the league. The passing games aren't where they need to be, but they got the potential to. I think it's gonna be a close game. Prairie View offensive line is very good. The defensive line is good. Southern's offensive line is good. Southern defensive line a lot better since they got Jay Dumas back last week. He was a monster in the middle. So that's, to me, that's a key thing for Southern. One thing for Southern that I would question is Jordan Lewis had a hamstring in the game last week. I heard Dooley ain't the most open coach about injury. So he said he good, but you never know. So you never know with a hamstring, especially when you're a speed guy. I think it's gonna be a tight battle. It's gonna be an emotional game. You know, you can say whatever you want. You know, you can Dooley, you can say whatever you want, but it's gonna be an emotional game. Because I've seen his emotion on the other side when he coached against Southern. So there's no way that he's not gonna have that emotion on the Southern sideline looking at Prairie View. Because I remember in 2018, I remember that man running down the sideline when the team ran on the field pointing at our team. So you can say what you want, but when you step in that stadium and in the lines, it's different. So I'm going right now. I'm going Prairie View, but mainly because they're playing at home, and I'm still not sold on Southern as a consistent team. They own. If they can turn you over, the defense is going to try to score points. That, that's a key thing for Southern. But they mainly run a lot of they're running they're trying to run tempo, but they still want to line up and run the ball. You got to get the quarterback out on the edges because he's not the tallest guy. Don't want him standing in the pocket and throw. And he was a whole lot more accurate out of the pocket than in it. So they want to go as quick as possible. So I think it's still gonna be a smash mouth game because both teams love to run the football. So what's your thoughts on that game?
I think I'm gonna go with Prairie View. Prairie View gonna have to find a way to pass the football as well on Southern. I don't think you're gonna be able to continue to have lackluster quarterback play and continue to be winning. Definitely, when you get to cross some of the better teams in the conference. But I think it's gonna be definitely a close one between PV and Southern. I saw a score 24-21. I can go with that. I think it's gonna be emotional battle between both of those schools.
Yeah, I'm in that same boat. Like a 3-point game. I'm trying to see what I said. I said 24-21, but I went. I went Prairie View, but I could easily see Southern winning this game. I'm just looking at things from week by week. It's been, Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, they got shut out by TSU, but the offense moved the ball in between the 20s. They couldn't score in the red zone. Defense played a great second and third quarter in that game. Against Pine Bluff, defense was very aggressive. Only allowed Pine Bluff to run off 3 yards and less than 200 yards of total offense. So the ability is there. It's just, can they do this week in and week out? And right now, I'm a Jag through and through, and it hurt to say this, but as a person that do a show, I like to be even. So I'm going PV, but I'm always running with my boys, so I'm pulling for them, and I think they got a good chance of winning this game. I think whoever win in the trench is gonna win this game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's gonna be a good game. I think the atmosphere gonna be crazy. I think nice crowd should be in PV. They don't call it Baton Rouge, Texas for nothing now. So the Jaguar Nation gonna be there. So we to go to the greater Houston area. So I know they're gonna be there deep. So hopefully both get a good show. Let's see what next game. Let's talk about Valley and Alcorn.
Ooh, Fred about to get ready to swing the paddle down there in Lorman. I think he offering a free ass whooping this weekend.
Hey, Fred got them young men's ready.
Like it's about to get serious out there. Man, I got the. I think all
got them young men's ready.
Yeah, I think Alcorn gonna pour it on Valley this weekend, man. I know, unfortunately, they pretty much they whooped them pretty good last year. I think it's gonna be pretty much the same. I mean, Alcorn defense played pretty stout the last time when they played against UAPB. They coming off that bye week, being able to get some rest and get some players healed. And that running game is crazy with my boy Howard, man. I think Alcorn be able to rotate those that three-headed monster in and out. I don't think Valley got a chance in this one, man. I think you muted, Charles. I think you hit the mute button. Hey, let me know in the chat y'all can hear me too. Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you good now.
All right, I think I got too crazy over here talking about Valley in the first quarter and hit the wrong button. I think it's gonna be a typical game, man. Valley gonna come out, with that smoke in their eyes, and they gonna fight. But Alcorn gonna grind them down. Their running game gonna get to them, and I think Howard gonna probably go for like 202 touchdowns, and Valley gonna take another L. Now I saw it in the chat. Somebody said Valley gonna pull off the upset.
But who is drinking the Kool-Aid right there? If Valley beat Alcorn, what should I do, y'all?
Let's get it on.
I'll send Valley $50.
Hey, they can use it. So if Valley pull off this victory, man, y'all make sure Jamie G get that money up to Valley, man. Hit Valley up in the cash app and drop that money on them.
I will drop $50 toward Mississippi Valley Athletics if Valley could pull off the upset, which I know they're not. And whoever said that, they know that's wishful thinking, but it's not gonna happen. Not the way Valley playing right now.
Hey, they say never, but sometimes you gotta say never. It's like
Low J said,
let's jump.
Wear a Valley shirt for a week. I'll do that. If Alcorn loses to Valley, Low J, I got you. I will wear a Valley shirt on next week's episode. I will wear a Valley shirt for a week.
Hey.
I will.
We got somebody said make it 1K, man. Well, I don't know what kind of show y'all think we
Ooh,
got over here, man.
Hey, the G
we
Pocket
ain't
can run that deep, my brother. Unfortunately,
hey,
I
we
wish I could drop
ain't that big time over here, man. Hey, ain't no way I could drop 1,000, man. Look at my setup, man. I got it's hard times, bro. Hey, but hey, I'm pulling for Valley because I need Alcorn to drop a couple games, especially the week before they come to Baton Rouge. You know, hey, so come on, Valley, but I don't see it. Let's talk Grambling and Bama A&M, man. What you think?
This might be this gonna be a pretty good. This gonna be a pretty good game. I think Alabama A&M winning might catapult them into, get back into rolling when it comes to winning, man. I think Grambling gonna be struggling still without the G. I still think when Hugh took the G away from them guys, it did something to them. And until they get their G back, they gonna continue to have L on their helmets.
Yeah, now I will say that that was one of the things, man. I really didn't really agree with that move. I mean, I get it. I feel like that's more of a preseason type of thing. You make guys earn in the preseason, whatever. You got to be careful with these young dudes, man. They take things differently. You could do that kind of stuff back in the day. You got to be careful that you're gonna lose your team. But they supposedly getting Maurice Washington back this week. That can help their running game a lot. But they, if he's healthy, they need to give him some touches. Because I mean, he can't ball 3-4 times a game. I know he's not a bruising type of guy, but he needs to get some touches because he's a guy that can take it to the house at any time. Bama A&M, I think they just need to do what they did last week, man. Stay with trust their running game. I know Coach Maynard said Ibrahim been banged up, so that's why he ain't really putting up the numbers. Plus the quarterback play ain't been good. But I think that running game, Eaglin, I think that dude's gonna be a factor in this game. I think they can kind of find things that can work, and their defense is not that bad this year. I know what I'm saying, not that bad. It don't sound that great, but when you know what their defense looked like last year, to say they're not bad this year is an improvement. So, I think it's gonna be a sloppy game, though. I really don't think this is gonna be one of them games that you watch if you're looking for good, crisp football. Both teams need wins in the worst way, and I think it's gonna come down late. I think it'll be a late type of game. So, late ending type of game as far as scoring go.
I think it's a good opportunity for the new quarterback that Grambling gonna rock with. I think it's a new opportunity for him to get him. I mean, it's a new fresh start for Grambling. I mean, it's only up from here. You can't
go no lower. So
yeah, they did score a couple touchdowns last week. This might be something brewing for Grambling. But it's gonna be an ugly game though, man. I mean, it's probably more so of ain't gonna be pretty much no offense. I think it'll be more of a defensive battle, like a 2013 type game,
Yeah, I feel like whoever wins is gonna win the turnover battle. So I picked Alabama and them in this game. I think they're gonna probably get a couple short fields and cash in that way. Now, if you was Hugh Jackson, are you starting Hawkins this week? Or are you starting Calvez? I mean, they both relatively young guys. You going with the guy you had before? Or are you going with the fresh blood?
I mean, you might as well go with the guy that had the hot hand last week, and which was what's the guy's name again?
That was Calvez.
Calvez, yeah. I think that's who they should go with. I mean, shoot. I mean, you might as well find out what both can do in this game as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think you starting to hit that point where it's getting a little late now. I mean, we're still in October. but football season ain't but so long. So you can't keep. You need to make a decision. And hopefully, like you say, I would go with the hot hand from last week. Maybe he can carry the momentum. Maybe the offense kind of thrive a little bit different under him. So, it's worth a shot. If it don't work, then you go back with what you had, or you find another guy, whatever. But if it don't work, then you basically at square one anyway. So you just got to find somebody to get the ball down the field. So I think that's important for them to do that. The last conference game that we have this week is Texas Southern and Pine Bluff.
Ooh, that's a pretty interesting game. That can go either way. But I think I'm going to go with Texas Southern. I think Texas Southern is going to bounce back from last week's loss. I think they're going to go back and improve some things. And this is a game definitely where you can improve on what you might be lacking. So I think Pine Bluff pretty much done for. Unfortunately, I mean, with that losing, that really kills your morale and spirit around. So I think Texas Southern is going to find a way to win this game and get back on that horse. So I'm going with you, Texas Southern in this one.
Yeah, I think Pine Bluff is that team that gets you right. It's homecoming in Pine Bluff, and Southern on their homecoming last year. So TSU probably gonna come up there with them, come up with smoke for them. But Pine Bluff, maybe some of my PB people could answer this. What's the deal at quarterback? If Skylar Perry is still hurt, and I think Macon got hurt against Southern, his injury, I think he hurt his knee, but the way it fell looked really bad. If you got to go with Edwards, he's a freshman. That's one. You had one freshman starting, now you got another freshman starting. If Perry can't go, I think that's going to be a key for them. I like that TSU defense. I think they're going to be able to have some success in that game. But right now, like I said, I think it's process of elimination. I think TSU offense is going to score enough points to put them back. And Doc Gamble can continue to pack.
I'll even help him pack. I got a few boxes in the closet for him.
Hey, I definitely help him pack because I still ain't forgot that spring game. I help him pack myself personally because I still ain't forgot that spring game in Baton Rouge when they came in and beat us. So I still hold a grudge on that one. But you got to find some kind of way to make some things happen. Let's jump to FAMU in South Carolina, man. I think that's a low key game that could be a nice game of the week.
Yeah. I like that matchup. Last year I think FAMU put it on them pretty good. This season, though, South Carolina State might get their lick back, man. But this is a really good matchup. I'm looking forward to this one. I always like the receiver Shaq Davis, man. That dude cold, and that linebacker is nice, and man, they got some real good athletes over there at South Carolina State. It's just gonna be the key is gonna be Florida State. I mean, not Florida State. What the heck I'm thinking? FAMU. FAMU.
I know where your mind is.
I am a Noles fan, as some people might not know either. I rock with them Noles.
Hey, you already know where I ride. So hey.
But yeah, I think the key is gonna be FAMU's defense. Can FAMU's defense step up to the plate and really put the bite on the dogs, and then can the offense? I know they can pass, but can they get that run game going? Because FAMU has some pretty decent running backs, but they just seem like they ain't been able to get it going like what some people would think they would get it going.
Yeah, I think it's important to run the ball in this game because South Carolina State, they're physical and they're gonna try to take the pass away from Florida and them. This Musa, on the road, he hadn't looked that good, early in the season, 2 games away from home. Been comfortable in Bragg, but right now, you're going on the road, gonna be a tough task. He don't have to win the game by himself. No quarterback should ever have to win the game by himself. But he gonna have to manage the team. If you FAMU defense, then y'all make sure y'all know where Shaq Davis at all time, because right now they're not the ball to nobody else but him. So you can neutralize him. I'm not saying stop him, but if you can slow him down enough and make somebody else have to hurt you, I think you got a better chance. If he go wild, then you're gonna be in for a long night. But I think Isaiah Land starting to come back in this season. He had another pretty solid game last week, and we talked about him last week. But Isaiah Major is playing great ball. That dude's around the football all the time. So I think it found, man. Mainly because I want to go SWAC, but I think Florida A&M, if they can get that running game going with Xavier Smith at leading their receiving crew, I think that's tough to stop.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go FAMU in this game as well. I think FAMU is playing really good football right now, and when they get to rolling, they're a really good team and they're tough to beat. So I'm gonna go with FAMU in this one. I think they're gonna pull it off pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of them where if they can find their way, man, they're gonna make some things happen. And look out for FAMU special teams, man. Sheree, punt returner, he do the break one. So that could be a key factor in a game like this. Last game this week is Tennessee State and Bethune-Cookman. It's homecoming in Nashville. It ain't pretty right now in Nashville, but it's homecoming in Nashville. They coming off a very, very bad loss to Lane College in overtime at home. And Bethune-Cookman coming off of a loss to Alabama A&M. So, what you think about this game?
Man, first off, it's embarrassing to lose to a Division II school such as Lane College, and to lose on that fashion like that. Because even before they scored the 2-point conversion, they had scored the previous 2-point conversion, but they got called back. But I mean, the seat is definitely getting high for Eddie George, but at the same time, you really can't hold too much on. I mean, it's his first rodeo of coaching. He only has to get better at coaching. But I think Bethune-Cookman is going to come out there and they're going to really try to upset, Tennessee State, definitely for their homecoming. I think Bethune actually going to win this game, man. I think they're going to really come out there and put it on Tennessee State. I see Tennessee State losing this at least by 2 touchdowns.
Hey, that's a good point. And I'm gonna touch on this comment in a minute. I feel like where are you mentally if you Tennessee State right now? You know what I'm saying? All of our schools have lost to a Division II school at some point in recent years. I'm not going. We lost to Arkansas Monticello. We lost to the Boll Weevils. You know what I'm saying? Delta
we lost
beat a couple SWAC teams.
I'll never forget that ass whooping in Mobile. That was a flat ass. They whooped Jackson ass that day.
So it happens. It shouldn't happen, but it happens. But Lane controlled that game, man. Lane had that game in control for pretty much the whole game. Mentally, if you Tennessee State, where you at? Bethune-Cookman, I think they can take this game if they can come in here and the offense can continue to do what they're doing. They got to find a way to continue to move that football. Defensively, they're not playing that great, but they're playing good enough. I think they gonna be in trouble. I think it's gonna be a long road for Tennessee State. I heard that this is the longest losing streak that Tennessee State has been on in like 30 years. So,
and I think they're gonna continue.
That's a number that's gonna. That's a number that's if they continue to grow. Then people are gonna start looking. But like you said, Eddie George got to get, he got to get his time, man. Yeah, he in his second year, but you had to understand that bringing a guy ain't never been a coach at all. This kind of stuff could happen. You got a team full of transfers like a lot of us do, and it take time. So we'll see. But I think that Bethune-Cookman can find a way to win this. But I do want to go back to this comment that Len had put up. Oh, that ain't the right one. He was saying, why does it seem like a lot of us are closer to D2 schools in competition than we are, honestly, white FCS schools? Because we talked about this a little bit before I came on air, and to me, it's one of those things that I feel like our fans and our teams necessarily get as excited for these games as they do. Now they're not gonna come to your school. Don't get me wrong, but when you go to them, they want to show out. And if it's a local team, an in-state team, those guys want to play well against your school because some of them wanted to come to your school, some of them from your city. It's just I can't put my finger on it.
Right. Yeah. I see the comment on what Preston said. Jackson State lost in the Circle City Class. I forgot all about that one, man. Ooh,
Kentucky State. Oh yeah, I remember that game, bro.
Oh my gosh!
I remember that game. Hey, I was about to say, bro, that triple option ain't no joke now. You could take a team of middle schools and might win with the triple option if your team can't play it. Them boys threw 2 passes in that game, I think, or maybe 3.
Yo.
They ran that ball all night long.
Yeah, that's in the past.
Oh yeah, that
looking forward now.
That was the start of to get that new chapter going, man. That was no way something like that's supposed to ever happen. But it's just, like I said, I can't put my finger on why our teams don't always perform as well. Like I know, like I don't know if you had paid attention to that North Carolina Central game this weekend against Campbell.
Mm-hmm. I did. I watched some of
that. That's gonna surprise me, man. I didn't think that it was gonna end up like that. And they got pushed around, and Central's a team that's pretty fickle. You wasn't surprised?
I wasn't surprised at all because I think when it comes to those games, it's in the trenches. I think if you've seen Campbell's offensive line, man, it was huge. Them guys were huge and they were physical, man. And it seemed like at the HBCU level, it's a wide gap when it comes to that, and I don't understand why it's like that. But I'm not surprised Campbell ran off with that. Well, I kind of felt like North Carolina Central was on that high for just being undefeated, and I think they just got a good humble pie that day. So I'm just not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
And that's that difference in the trenches is something I did hear a lot of people say. Campbell offensive line was so much bigger, and I think a lot of times with our schools we build outside first. We got everybody got skilled guys. You can find Valley got skilled guys. Everybody got a good back, some good receivers or something. We all got that, but like you said, on that line is the difference. And if you can't block somebody or you can't get no pressure on your defense or you can't stop the run, them teams ain't scared to continue to do what works. Sometimes I feel like our coaches get a little too comfortable and cute and try to do some things that they don't need to be doing. Go away from things that was working. And those teams, they stay the course. Whatever their game plan is, that's what they're doing. They ain't trying to deviate from nothing unless you take it away from them. And sometimes we try to coach for the crowd, to speak, and it's man, that man old, man. I don't think he going nowhere once he leaves Carolina.
Then I kind of felt like when North Carolina Central played Virginia Lynchburg, that's not gonna make you better.
No.
When you playing a team,
bro.
Yeah, that's not gonna make you better. I mean, you playing a team like Campbell. Come on, man.
I mean you talking to somebody that team playing Florida Mar and Virginia Lynchburg, and right. I've been against both of them games. You don't know where you are. You know, you play them kind of teams, man, and you put up all kind of points. You look good. You don't know where you are. I mean, you probably got some ballers on your team, but you need to. I think you get better through adversity. I mean, your dubs look good, the stats look good. I mean, if you continue to keep winning, you can win. You can have a good season playing them kind of games. But I think if you're a team that's trying to really put something together, you need to kind of measure yourself. You need to find where you stand, and ain't nothing worse than getting humbled. You know, you come in, you 4-0, you 5-0, whatever, and you get pushed around and beat. Then you got to get back in the lab. You know, so now you know what your deficiencies are. You know, you might have knew already, but now you know they exposed, and can you fix it? And sometimes you can. So a game like this, you know, it sucks to lose, and it sucks to get blowed out. But if you can put that behind you and build, then, you know, it can be a springboard this season. I've seen it happen to a lot of teams, you know, get beat bad and rebound. So it's just one of them things. But I don't never understand, man. I get better in the trenches. So I think that's gonna do it for us this week, man. Next week, you know, if you ain't too busy, man, you probably stop on through. I'm gonna be having a little celebration episode because my birthday is next Friday. So y'all, if y'all want give me a gift or something,
celebration.
My birthday next Friday, so it's a celebration. Let's make it happen, y'all. Hey, October 14th is my birthday. Be 46. So I'm hyped, man. We playing all corn that weekend. I'm ready. So we're gonna have a little fun on the show that week. So y'all make sure y'all check us out again. But man, what you got going on this week, Jamie?
Man, hey, you know I'll be with the jokes or whatever. So I hope everybody team played good this weekend, because you know if you checked out my last video on my podcast on my channel on YouTube, that old Grambling got that old Wheel of Fortune action. And I know one thing too, just because I'm a JSU fan and JSU alone, if JSU come with the bull, I gotta get them too. Don't think I won't get them. I had to do it to myself.
Sometimes you got to go harder on your own, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all love, but sometimes you gotta go harder on your own, because that's what. Hey, that's right. It's Libra season, man. So shout out to all my Libras out there. Hey, we some of the best. So if you know a Libra, man, give them some dap and a good bear hug, man, and show them some love, because we some good people out there, man. So y'all just enjoy the week. You got anything else going on this week, man?
Yeah. Only thing, I'm gonna probably sit back kind of watching some of the games maybe this week and weekend, and I supposed to be probably doing something with my wife this weekend. You know, our anniversary was last weekend, so happy 2-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
So,
you got married during football season? Bro.
Yeah, I got married in the midst of the pandemic. 2020. So, I mean, it really wasn't much football going on.
It was none. So, hey, I'll let you slide on that with no football going on in the SWAC. Hey, I told my wife, I say, man, we get married anytime except for September, October, November. That's, you know, we get married in May. But hey, happy anniversary to you, man. Hey,
appreciate
2 years is a good thing, man. So it's like I said, man, I got the same old thing going on. I'm gonna be tuned in to football this weekend. So just gonna watch some of these games and get ready for the show next week. So if you ain't got nothing else to add to the show, man, we're gonna go ahead and get on up out of here, man. Y'all enjoy y'all week. man. And if y'all going to games, I always say it, but if y'all going to games, man, y'all please be careful out there. On the road, please be careful.
Yes.
People crazy out here, man. So y'all be careful. And we'll catch y'all next week. So see Well signing out. Got my boy Jamie G. I'm gonna see if we can get him back in the house again next week. If it's scheduled good, we'll try to make that happen. Otherwise, y'all just have me holding it down. So y'all have a good weekend, and we'll catch y'all on the rebound.
Thank y'all for watching.